back to yet another lab. Today we're looking at what is saturation. It's one of our vocabulary words, and our purpose is to observe the saturation of a solution. Here's our materials list. We need a large jar with a lid, boric acid crystals, a teaspoon, and some water. All right, so here we have the supplies that we need. Here we have our large jar with a lid. It's just a mason jar. We've got our boric acid crystals. This is an ingredient. I got it from Amazon, but it's an ingredient of like roach bait and ant bait, those kind of things. It's not highly toxic to humans, but it apparently is to bugs. And what else do we need? We've got our teaspoon. I've got my trusty plastic spoon here. And lastly, water, which I have in the jar and in the cup. The reason I've got it in both is because I was very, very bad and did not follow the directions. But instead of redoing it, I wanted to get the lab started here. I made it work this way. So my first direction is to place 5 teaspoons of boric acid in the jar, and then to fill the jar with water. Well, I ran downstairs. I'm upstairs in the den doing this, and I ran downstairs, filled the jar with water, and then came back up and was like, oh, dang, that's not right. So anyway, so I took some water out. I've got it sitting right here. I've got plenty of room to put in my 5 teaspoons, and then I'll top it back up with that as we go. All right, so our first step in the procedures is to place 5 teaspoons of boric acid in the jar. One, there's 2. I'm trying to level them as much as I can. 3, so we have accurate measurements. 4 and 5. Close this back up, keep everybody safe. Okay, fill the jar to the very top with water. Put the lid on. Come on now. There it goes. Put that on there good and tight. And step 4 here, shake the jar to mix the crystals and the water. Step 5 will be start a 1-minute timer running. So we'll be doing that in just a second here. All right, here we go. All right, we are shook, as Elvis would have said, all shook up. Get the timer going here on the phone. 1 minute, off we go. Can you hold that? No. Bring it up to you so you can see a little bit of what's going on here. So we now have a cloudy solution. About 30 seconds left. Okay, there's our timer. Let's make an observation now through the jar. Get something dark to go behind there. All right, here we are with something dark behind it to give you a little bit better view of what might be going on. Yeah, that made a big difference. All right, starting our timer again for another minute. 30 seconds. Okay, it's been 2 minutes, and as you can see, there's still stuff floating around inside. Ooh, look at what's happening. Can you see that? Let me turn it so the letters are not there. There's something happening inside there. Look over on the left-hand side. Make sure you're writing down your observations. I'm not shaking the jar, I'm holding quite still, but stuff's happening. I very, very gently set it down so I don't disturb it. I'm going to bring my lab binder closer so that we get a little darker background up close. All right, coming up again. Zoom in on what's going on in the bottom. So what do you see? Is it dissolving? There's still stuff happening inside there. Watch for movement. All right, so now we need to write down our observations again. In our second column, we've done 2 minutes, and here we are, we're well past 3 minutes at this point, so you can be writing those down. And then we need to write our conclusion. So our question again, we're observing the saturation of a solution. So yet again, not a question, but a statement, but we need to address it, the statement of our purpose in our conclusion. So what can we say about this lab? What is saturation? Did this saturate? Is this a saturated solution? How can you tell? What would it look like if it was? What would it look like if it wasn't? And then answer the question, is this one or is it not? And then what does it mean to be saturated? So write this down in your notebook. Take a picture, email it to me. Thanks again for hanging out. Give this a final shake. Oh, look. It's a snow globe. All right, guys. Next time.